Hi, welcome to the Retro Shed. Happy New Year. It's almost the middle of January, actually. A rather large box was delivered in the middle of last week, and there it is. And some of you know what's already in this box, but I thought I'd do a quick video today. I'm not going to do an unboxing of this thing. There's plenty of those already out on the internet. Unboxing, no, not interested. You want to see what's inside this box. Apologies, I'm sniffy and a bit snorty. I've got this lingering cold that I've had since late Christmas that just doesn't seem to want to go away. So apologies if I snort down the mic. But today I want to show you the Hasbro Spengler Proton pack, which arrived earlier this week. And you're going to love this because this blew me away. Take a look at this. Now, I've been waiting for this beauty to arrive since I backed the campaign on Hasbro Pulse, and that was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, around about December 2021, not long after the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie came out. Hasbro said, is anyone interested in us creating this Proton pack? And I think it was backed pretty full within, I don't know, 24 hours or something like that. Let's face it, this is one of the most iconic pieces of kit that you're ever likely to see from a movie. I saw Ghostbusters in 1984 with my father when it first came out, went to the cinema to see it, and one of the things that absolutely blew me away was the equipment that they were using. It's got this, I don't know, it's got this unique look about it, hasn't it? It's kind of like off-the-shelf military surplus. It looks like the guys built this somewhere in their garage. You know, it's not clean and slick and polished. It's made up of all sorts of odds and ends, like, you know, like the clippered valve. Which you can, it's just off the shelf. This is all off the shelf stuff. Well, most of it. But yeah, when Hasbro said they were going to make a Proton pack to accompany the Neutrona wand that they did earlier, I couldn't wait. So I backed this straight away, and it arrived. It finally arrived. They started shipping, I believe, January 2023, and has arrived last week. And just look at it. I mean, it's an absolute masterpiece, isn't it? If you look at the Proton pack from 1984, they're a lot cleaner. They're newer, they're fresher. There's a lot of reference material out there that you can go and look at to see what the original 1984 Proton pack looked like. This one is a copy of the one that was featured in the film Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is what most fans call the Phoebe pack. This is the Proton pack that Phoebe finds in her grandfather's basement under the house, and she puts this back together again and goes off and uses it, which is amazing. It's everything that the fans were waiting to see. So this huge box arrived earlier in the week, and it is massive. There's all sorts of stuff in there, and like I say, I'm not going to bother going through the unboxing. You can see Hasbro spent a lot of time and effort making this box look as cool as it does. And there was all sorts of stuff that came with it, which I'm going to go through. So I'm not going to do an unboxing. There's loads and loads of stuff in here. Tons and tons of stuff. You don't want to see an unboxing. No, you want to see this thing. So, first of all, you will notice that this one looks a bit more weathered than the other Spengler packs from Hasbro. And you'd be right. I've done some modding on this already. So, for example, I've used this stuff called Rub and Buff. Interesting name, isn't it? This is Pewter Rub and Buff. And what you can do with it, you can give stuff a very, very metallic looking sheen. So plastic you can make look like, you know, like that. So I've added some on it because although the pack from Hasbro looked very weathered, and they've done a beautiful job, don't get me wrong, beautiful job on it, I didn't think it looked weathered enough for my liking, so I wanted to personalise mine up a bit. So I've given mine quite a bit of weathering. You can see there's quite a few touches that I've put on this. And another thing I've done, a lot of the cables and the wires that came with it had simulated tape. I can't show you a simulated one now because I've covered them all. Let's face it, nothing looks like insulation tape than insulation tape. So wherever there was supposed to be a bit of insulation tape like there, I've actually gone and put real insulation tape on it. This cable here had simulated, I love this stuff, I don't know what it is, it's like a cloth tape, I don't know, this stuff. It's sticky and it's made of fibre. I've put that on there because if you go and have a look at Phoebe's pack from the movie, it really has got this stuff on it. So wherever there's insulation tape, I've gone and put insulation tape on it because I think it just looks better with real tape on it. Why have fake insulation tape when you can have the real thing? Parts like this here that are supposed to be made of brass, I've painted, so they actually do look like they're made of brass. Now they came black plastic. So I've given them a bit of a distressed brass look to them. What else have I done? I've dirtied this cable a bit because that was far too clean. It was bright yellow and clean, so I've dirtied this up, and I've weathered it with the rub and buff. So it has got much more of a metallic look to it. Like the bumper bar now has got a lot more weathering on it, and I've put some tape down here. Interestingly, the Phoebe pack, I believe this cable is blue, not black. I don't know why there's a black cable on there. It should be blue. But I mean, just look at it. Haven't they done an amazing job? They have really, really belted this out of the park. Hasbro, you've done an amazing job. It looks absolutely amazing. I've wanted one of these since I was 12 years old. It's been an awful long wait, but finally I've got one. Why did nobody create this back in 84, 85 when, you know, the film was out and we all wanted them? They would have sold like, I don't know, God knows what. And what's interesting, they've made this pack compatible with Egon's Neutrona wand as well. They've shipped it with this cable. I think one complaint I've got with it, this cable is very, very brittle. It's very, very springy indeed, so it doesn't feel like proper cable bind. I don't think it is. It's very, very brittle, especially this reinforced section here is very, I mean, if I do that, it's liable to tip the whole pack over, so I'm not going to do that. But what's interesting is you can actually control the Proton pack to a degree from the controls on the Neutrona one. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. Now, if you've seen the movie, you know that a lot of this comes apart. The cyclotron actually opens up, and you can see the inner guts of the cyclotron. And I'll show you that actually, because if you unscrew this section here, that comes out. Now, and it's going to be tough to do because I'm holding the camera at the same time. I'm going to pull the bumper bar off, and as you can see, let's just put that down there. All the clips and cables can be disconnected, and what I'm going to do, if I can do it one-handedly, is carefully move that to one side, and then you can see inside the cyclotron. And again, the attention to detail is amazing. So if you watch the movie, you'll see that Phoebe actually finds the pack on the bench in a pulled apart state. So there's the CRT emitters, and again, I was just blown away at the attention to detail. I believe all these come off as well. Hang on, let me just twist that off. Yeah, so the CRT emitters can actually be taken off and played around with. So let's put that back on. Hang on. It's difficult with one hand, guys. Hang on. There you go. So, yeah, I mean, the detail in there. These contacts here obviously connect to these LED panels here. So inside, you've actually got the cyclotron rotor. Let me just pull this apart for you. You can have a look. There you go. So you can pull the cyclotron rotor out, and inside, the attention to detail is amazing. Look at that. So inside here, you have two switches. That one is the motor. There's a vibrating motor inside this pack. Now, I don't use it, I don't like it, it makes a really silly noise. But if you click the switch, can you hear that noise there? That's off, I think the vibration is off. And this switch here, this upper switch, controls the mode of the pack. So you can have the original 1984 mode, and you can have Afterlife mode. And I'll show you both those modes in a minute. But, I mean, look at that. The attention to detail is just absolutely incredible. Look at it. I'll tell you something, I was like a big kid when this arrived. I felt like I was 12 years old when this arrived in the post. Isn't it amazing? I just can't stop looking at it. I sit there switching on like a sado and just sit there staring at it. It's incredible. I'm going to put this back together again, and I think I'll start. If I flick that switch down, there you go. I believe we're in 1984 mode now. So I'm going to put it back together again and spin it up for you. Okay, right, so I've turned the lights off in here so you can have a better look at some of the LEDs and things on it. So I've put the cyclotron back together again, and I've put it into 1984 mode. So let's go ahead and spin it up. The switch is, if I can get a shot of it, it's under here, exactly where it was in the movie. Let's spin her up. They sound beautiful. That noise never fails to make me smile. So you've got the pulsating lights, you've got the power bar indicator, and the crank is actually the volume control. So if I turn this, you can turn it down and you can turn it up. And that is it sat in the original movie mode. So the lights slowly blink round. The speaker's on the top. Don't know if you can hear it. You probably can. The mic's not near it, but that's what it sounds like in 1984 mode. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move the mic a bit closer so you can hear. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it in Afterlife mode. 1 second. Oh, you want to hear it spin down. Before I put it in Afterlife mode, yeah, listen to this. I'm going to turn it off. Oh, what a noise. Listen to that. Okay, I'm going to take the cyclotron apart. Again, one-handed. Not easy to do. Not one-handed anyway. And I am going to flick the switch under there so it's in Afterlife mode. There you go. Okay, once again, because I know you want to hear that sound again. You ready? You can just hear it spin up. Okay, I'm going to turn it off because you've got to hear this power down sound, right? I'm going to turn it off now. Oh my God. Yeah, that is just amazing, isn't it? So, as well as the cyclotron, let me power it back up again. Now, what they've done is really clever, actually. Let me just turn this down. Turn it down, turn it down. What Hasbro have done here is very, very clever indeed. Normally, inside the handle here, you have a set of batteries that powers up the neutrino wand. What they've actually done is provided, let me just show you this. With the proton pack, they've provided this hose here, and what they've cleverly done, on the end there, you can see some contacts. You see that? If I can focus in. And this is now powered from the proton pack, but that's not all they've done. Let me just connect it back up. Feel that vibrating. So there you go. So that's your proton thrower switched on, and that is actually being powered by the proton pack itself. Let's turn it up. Now, if I fire the stream, okay, now watch what happens when I turn off the switches. How cool is that? So if I actually switch this back on again, the proton pack automatically starts up. And that was not something that I was ever going to expect. And they have done it. They've managed to allow you to control the proton pack from the neutrino wand. I mean, how cool is that? That's just amazing. Like a big kid, I know. Can I turn that up? What I'm going to do now, I'm going to overheat it. Watch this. And the pack switches off when it detects the overheat. I mean, it's just brilliant, isn't it? Oh, so happy with this. I didn't think it was going to be as good as this. I'll be totally honest with you. Hasbro blow me away. Let's show you some other things that came in the box. So as well as the Proton pack, some other bits and pieces came in the box. In fact, quite a lot of stuff came in the box. First of all, you've got this mounting hardware here. Now, as all good Ghostbusters fans know, the Proton pack is mounted to an Alice LC1 backpack frame. The one out of the box doesn't. It just comes with these straps, if I can get the camera around there. So it comes with these straps and they attach straight to the back of the Proton pack. Incidentally, before I forget, the Proton pack is powered by D-cell batteries that go inside there. So there's 4 D-cell batteries that go into that hatch there. But yeah, this hardware allows you to go and buy your own LC1 Alice frame, and you can actually mount the Proton pack to it. So if you want a real screen authentic Proton pack, you can go and buy yourself one of those. I might do that, but yeah, don't tell the wife. Right, what else came with it? Oh, this is funny. This is really interesting. Look at this, right? This came in the box, and the idea is, I believe, you can mount it to the end of your proton thrower. I'll do that just to show you. Hang on a sec. There. I'm not going to say too much about that, but I would have thought, yeah, why on earth would you put that on the end of your proton thrower? I suppose it's to make your proton thrower look less authentic and real. In certain countries where, I don't know, is it perhaps a firearm issue? I really don't know. But needless to say, I will not be having that on the end of my proton thrower. So that'll stay in the box for a rainy day, should we say. So, yeah. What else have we got? Burnt mini puffs. How cool are they, little fellas? They're great, aren't they? I'm just going to stick those on my shelf. What you've got here is some toasted mini puffs, which I thought was quite cool. They're a lovely little addition, and yeah, I like those. Yeah, also in the box came these things, and I believe they're supposed to be, how can I put it, bits of marshmallow that you can attach to your proton pack. Let me just stick one on there like that. Yeah, I won't be using these because I think they're a bit naff. The idea is you stick all these, there's quite a few of them actually. You stick these to various parts of your proton pack, and I suppose it's supposed to make them look like your proton pack is covered in, marshmallow. No, I think that's a bit naff. I won't be bothering with that. That will stay in the box. So out of the box, it also comes on this proton pack stand, which is really handy because it's not the easiest thing in the world to prop up. So the stand you have to assemble out of the box, which is not hard, it only takes a few minutes, but yeah, it's quite sturdy, as you can see. And it's very useful indeed. So if you want to stand it up in the corner of your room, there you go, it comes with a stand. They have honestly thought of everything. Another interesting feature of this proton pack is there are certain cables and connectors that if you disconnect actually causes a malfunction with the cyclotron. So if I power it up, watch what happens when I disconnect this ribbon cable. Look at that. There's so many little Easter eggs and things you can do with this. So it's now in a situation where it doesn't sound healthy. So what I'm going to do, if I connect this cable back up again, let's see if it spins up. There you go, so connecting that cable, it automatically spins back up again. And there's parts of this that are actually made of metal. The iron arm here feels like it's made of brass. That's cold to the touch, yep. The iron arm feels like it's made of brass. The top of the clipboard, that feels like aluminium. That's cold as well. Yep, that's metal as well. So they have absolutely gone to town on this. I can say is almost everything you see here you can pull apart. If you know, there's so many things you can play with. So that cable comes off there. All these can come out. Pull that up. So everything comes off. So you can really have a play about with this thing. You can do what you like with it. You can really make it your own. And there's a little compartment on the side here. Hang on, there you go. So that compartment opens up. If you're going to mod your pack, I suppose there's some extra space to put, I don't know, electronics or batteries or whatever. So there you go. That is what Hasbro have done with our hard-earned money, and I've got to admit, it's absolutely incredible. Now, I'm just going to sit here and look at this for a bit now. So thank you very much for joining me in the Retro Shed. There's a look at the the Hasbro Spengler Proton pack. Take care now. Bye bye.